here to take you on that segment inside the tripod right here that is tagged Sabi Your Right. It is a youth-led it's a youth-led program that is fully packaged by Whisper to Humanity organization, a youth-led feminist organization that are here to always buttress and make you know those basic things that you are being apportioned to as a human being. There are some things that should be your basic rights. You're not supposed to beg person to give you them normally, just because you're a human being, not because you're a male or because you're a female, but because you're a human being. There are some things that, bro, they're supposed to give them to you, not because the way you go beg. Today we're going to be talking about the civic responsibility of youth in preparation of the 2022 International Youth Day that is slated for the 12th of August. The Whisper to Humanity came with a guest who is a public analyst and who would be hearing it from the horse's mouth. So it is actually better to have somebody in a field, and that is what Whisper to Humanity team does every Thursday. So it better say you hear from person with Sabiam. So just as the government and people around you owe you your basic human rights, that is the same way that you owe some responsibilities to the government and to people around you. And I would want our guest to introduce himself. Hello, good afternoon.
Yeah, good afternoon.
Such a handsome young man with white hair. Looking so good.
Oh,
So
good afternoon, Limo State. Good afternoon, Where. Good afternoon, everybody. I'm a fine Chidibe. I'm here to talk about our civic responsibilities as youths, especially. I'm focusing on youths today because in the spirit of the International Youth Day coming up tomorrow, I want us to, ask after the program, let's ask ourselves some questions. Am I part of the problem? Am I doing enough? Am I doing enough to better this country? Because not every day we shout government is corrupt, government is not doing this, government is not doing this. But there are basic things that we need to do as human beings, as youths, as responsible youths. These are things that will help the government, because the government is not everywhere, especially now that we don't even have a local government system in place in most of the states. So the government cannot be in the state capital and be in every part of the state. It's the responsibility now lies with us, the youths. Okay, so Mr. Ifeanyi, welcome to today's show. Okay. For Whisper to Humanity team to pick you to be the person who would represent them, it means that they trust your angle of judgment. So, since they are all about the human rights, the civic responsibility, is it like things that are compulsory, that are expected from the youth, or is something that if you don't do it, you can get away with it? Because people really, the thing we say, big English, they cause plenty problem. Civic responsibility. Which easier way, or which lesser English where say, the person where they for market, where they say stockings, we don't really know what's in the civic responsibility, what in owe to in society? Or simply put, in layman's language, what is civic responsibility? Okay, let me explain it how everybody will understand it. Civic responsibility, let me use the market woman as an example. Now, the marketplace, now they have said on Saturday from morning 8 a.m. to 12 noon, they are going to clean it. Your civic responsibility is coming out to participate, because if you don't clean it, that environment will be dirty for you and your customers. That is just what civic responsibility is. If you don't do it, nobody will arrest you for not doing it. But if you don't do it, it will have adverse effect on the community, on your business, on your personality, on the nation as a whole. Okay, let me give example of some of the civic duties, civic responsibilities. Now we're almost getting into electioneering period. They have been shouting, go and get your PVCs, go and get your PVCs. Up to the day it was ending, I'm sure in Imo State, I'm sure more than 1 million youths did not get their PVC. But this thing, they have been saying it this thing has been continuous for years now. People didn't do it because we don't see it as important.
Yeah.
You understand me? Now, voting is your civic responsibility as a human being, as a youth. if you don't, how do we get bad leaders? We get bad leaders because good people refuse to participate in the process. Now, if you go to the polls and vote, there is at least a 95% chance that you are going to vote for the right candidate, the person you feel like is going to perform well. But when you don't participate in this voting, in these elections, you've not done your civic responsibility. And the bad leaders who emerge from maybe sharing money and all those things, from manipulating the systems, and when they emerge, the economy will crumble. There will be insecurity like we're witnessing in Nigeria today. These things didn't start today. It started because people refused to do simple things they were supposed to do. Go out and vote. Now you see, if you go to INEC registration, you see more than 2 million voters, 3 million registered voters. On election day, you don't even see up to 400,000 people come out to cast their votes. Do you understand me? What happened to the other people? What happened to the other ones? That is one aspect of the civic responsibility. Then another one is staying informed. Staying informed is very important because in this age of fake news everywhere, you just open your Facebook, open your social media, and you just see one bizarre story. And if you're not informed to ask yourself certain questions, like, where is this story coming from? Is it from a reputable media organization? If you're not informed about this, you keep spreading those lies. And when you spread those lies, some people who are not as enlightened as you are can, either panic, or even people can get too emotional and take laws into their hands over a fake news. You understand me? So there are a lot of things we need to do as youth. Another one is getting involved in your community. I know a lot of people, where they stay, where they live, they just come in, enter their flats, lock up, that's all. They don't care about how do we secure this neighborhood. How do we secure this neighborhood? Because a lot of security today, if you expect the police, if you expect the conventional police, conventional security outfits to do this work, they can't be everywhere. Actually, Nigeria is the most under-policed nation in the world. I pity the police officers because every day we try to blame them. Look at how many police officers that are guiding VIP. Look at how many of them that are how many people are doing the real police job. You expect one policeman to take care of a whole street. It's not possible. He can't know everything. It's now the people, the citizens that stay around that neighborhood, that community. It is you that are going to be informing the police. Actually, before, when I was growing up in my community, there are times the youths in the community, they arrest armed robbers, they arrest robbers and hand them over to the police. When you get involved in these kind of actions, you are performing your civic duties, your civic responsibilities as a youth. You can't wait for others to do it for you. You understand me? So sometimes when people are bringing plans on how to move the community forward, get involved. There is one or two ideas you might bring that will help in making your community a better place. So getting involved in things you do in your community is still another way of being responsible, doing your civic duties. Now, another one that is very, very important in today's Nigeria is tolerance. Tolerance. Nigeria is too polarized. If you talk about politics in any fora, tribalism seems to be the first consideration, then religion. And these two things are things that have divided us as a people, as youths. So it is now your civic responsibility to tolerate somebody from the other divide. If you are a traditionalist, for instance, you have to tolerate a Christian. You have to tolerate a Muslim. It must not be mine, 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 mine. I argued with somebody the other day. He was talking about Islamic fundamentalism. I told him it's not only in Islam that we have this fundamentalist. We have it in Christendom. We have it in traditional worship. We have it everywhere. What is that fundamentalism? That is, it is just these people that believe that every other religion is false. It's only their own that is the true religion. And when you believe in these things and take it to the extreme, you are becoming intolerant. And this intolerance is killing our society. That is why we have religious wars, we have tribal wars. One thing I keep telling people is hunger doesn't know tribe. Hunger doesn't know religion. Insecurity doesn't know tribe. Insecurity doesn't know religion. The massacre, let me use it as an example. When the people entered the church, they did not say Yorubas go one side, Igbos go one side, Hausas go one side. They opened fire. People died. So we need to start practicing this tolerance, religious tolerance, ethnic tolerance, everywhere. We need to, if we don't practice this tolerance, intolerance is going to engulf us, and we are all going to pay for it. Now, another aspect of this civic responsibility is passing on knowledge. If you know something and you don't teach the other people that maybe you are more informed than they are, it might become a waste at the end of the day. People go to some conferences, peace conference, this one, they tell them a lot of things, they just come back and they act like nothing happened. The reason they choose people to go there is simply because maybe logistics cannot allow them carry everybody along.
Yeah.
Now, okay, we are doing this program now. Some people are listening to it. A lot of people are in the market, they are not listening to it. Now, is your civic responsibility as a youth. You've listened to this program. When those people that were not opportune to listen to it, when you interact with them, you tell them, oh boy, see what in the talk. You try and inform them. That way, you're passing this knowledge that you gained to other people. And when you pass this knowledge, you are doing your civic responsibility. Just like paying our taxes. When you pay your tax, you are doing your civic responsibility. I'm sorry that tax in this part of the world is not, maybe because the government has not been up and doing in providing all the things they're supposed to provide for the citizenry. In UK, for instance, they use tax to run the economy. They use tax to run the economy of the nation. But here you can't tell people to pay tax now when they don't have jobs, when you've not provided the basic amenities, and you want people to just pay tax like that. I'm not saying paying tax is bad. Please, everybody should endeavor to pay their taxes. Because if you pay your tax, then you can tell the government, this taxpayers' money, you're not utilizing it, you're not doing this. When you don't do these your basic civic responsibilities, you don't expect the government to do theirs. Do you understand me? It is only when you've done the ones you can do that you can now go to the government and say, I don't do my part. How far your own part? Look at, we complain of bad government every day. Yet you are just sitting at home doing nothing. As a people, how did the Arab Spring start? They were youths that started it, not old men. Youths, if you don't get involved in, say, politics, if you don't get involved, old men will be, or irresponsible men. Let me not use old men because I have an aged father and he's very, very smart, very intelligent, very human. So if you don't get involved in politics, bad people are going to be elected. When bad people are elected, they'll make bad laws that will only favor them. So I urge every youth to do all these our little civic responsibility. It doesn't cost money to do these things. It doesn't. When you do these things, then you are assuring a better future for you and for your kids, both born and unborn. Yes.
as your civic responsibility. No be something where they pursue you with cane to go do. Mr. Ifeanyi,
Yes.
you mentioned PVC, you mentioned staying informed, you mentioned getting involved in your community. So I feel like getting involved in your community is the one that, in Nigeria, a lot of people have this mind your business mentality.
Exactly.
Make I mind my business, so make wahala no come meet me for where I dey. You hear two people fighting, and if we're going to go by your lecture of civic responsibility, you're supposed to come out if you hear two neighbors fighting and they are destroying property. They are even going as far as inflicting injuries on themselves. You're supposed to come out and, but again, you go take come out like you collect blow or like that. If you just, since when they fight, police no come. Now that time when you won't go separate, now police go come. And I no follow. 30,000 don't go. Do you have any special way that you are going to convince people who have lived for so long with the notion of make I mind my business because of wahala? In as much as say I owe Nigeria or I owe my society civic responsibility, but better say wetin no consign me, make I no chook hand inside. If I yourself dey catch for compound wey dey near my own, make I just pass because man no go put hand because e no consign me.
This program say when the jingle they were saying know your rights. Okay. Now, if you know the Constitution of Nigeria, a lot of us don't even have not even seen this Constitution of Nigeria. It's in the markets there. They pass bills, pass resolutions on daily basis in the National Assembly. Okay, that is where one of the things I mentioned was staying informed. When you are informed, you'll be informed of all these your rights. I can't be where I'm separating a fight, police will come and say they're arresting everybody. I'll tell the policeman, you are lying, you are joking. You are joking. Now, you see, before this community involvement, if you hear in around your neighborhood in the night, people come out. But these days, you notice that if you hear any you'll be hearing people locking their gates inside.
Me, sir, they lock them.
Exactly.
I will not come out.
That is where we're getting it wrong. Now, the person who is coming to perpetrate that crime knows that once he comes, everybody will run away.
Bam, exactly.
He will be emboldened to do more. But when he comes and realizes there was a robbery attack at I can't remember the place exactly, Edo State recently. They were escaping, the robbers were escaping, the community blocked their escape route. The robbers abandoned that money and ran away. It was on the internet everywhere.
They don't carry gun.
They were shooting, they killed a lot of people where they were at Uromi. That was at Uromi at Edo State. But where they were supposed to escape from, the community blocked the road. The robbers abandoned their route and ran away. Now, when you see two people fighting and you say it's not my business, there is one popular saying in Igbo land na ewurichaji onye akụkụ ye rie nke onye nọ n'etiti. I don't care. It must reach you.
Yeah.
When insecurity started in northeast, we thought it was far away northeast. That was how we were seeing it. We are just hearing Boko Haram did this, bomb this, northeast, you know, consign us. Little did we know that in less than a decade, it's gonna come here. It's gonna be here with us. Do you understand what I'm saying? That is this see something, say something. We've been preaching. If you say you know concern me, you stay in your house. One day, I think okay, those your two neighbors that are fighting in another flat. Assuming they started throwing bottle and maybe your car was parked there. You don't want to help and separate the fight. They break your windscreen. You're going to repair it. I don't know if you're getting me. You are going to repair it. If they break the glasses of your windows, you are going to repair it. Or if they decide to set the house on fire, because you are locked inside, you don't even care to know what is happening outside. You might get burnt. So that is why we urge people. Don't just say, if God had wanted to create only one person, he would just create one person. He won't give him the ability to reproduce. But he created us as a community so that we can be our brother's keeper. There's something I always tell people, when two people are quarreling, there's nothing like drum match in a quarrel. You have to tell this person, you have fought. In the US, for instance, they use the jury system. That jury system, they just select people randomly from the community. That when you are selected as one of the juries, if you go there, you are performing your civic responsibility as well. They just pick people randomly to come and judge a case. The judge will just be there to be cautioning the attorneys. But those community, those people from that community, they are the ones who are going to pass either a guilty verdict or not guilty verdict on the person. So you see, they are not just sitting at home and saying, consign me. So we should not say because of fear, we don't want to die, we don't want to die. We will not, if we see something wrong, we can't say it out. That way, if that thing finish killing those people outside, they will come inside to kill us. That is how I see these things, and that is how I want our youth to see these things.
I never thought you finish. I never thought you finish. I never thought.